What's it called? What's it called? What's it called? No, he doesn't even know what it's called. What's it called? What's it called?
Hi, this is your daddy, and you're listening to What's It Called?
Hell yeah, dude.
that
Man,
was Dad.
we got cool fans, dude. Yeah, that was our father.
Me and Dave got the same dad.
That was our listener Anna Snyder. Anna,
What up,
thank you so
Anna?
much. When you sign up at the $25 level of our Patreon, you get to introduce an episode of the podcast, and that was a long time coming.
Yeah, we love this podcast, and sometimes we forget. Well, we don't forget, but we'll be like, man, you know what we should do, and then like 2
And
years
we
later, we're like,
can't.
oh,
Yeah.
remember when we said we were gonna? Oh, yeah.
It was just a hard year with a lot going on, and we really couldn't. It was a lot to do anything, So
Yeah,
we just had
life's
to kick
crazy,
down the
man.
line for a minute.
Remember?
But we're on it now. We're on top of our shit now.
Yeah, dude.
Look at
Life
that.
comes at you fast.
You heard that, Anna Snyder. You fucking heard that, and that's evidence that we're on top of it.
I'm on top of it, dude.
I'm on top of it, dude. Just like that guy says in that song I really like about pussy or whatever. What's that song called? Hey, I fucked my wife, and and the sex is so good that we stayed married. That song. Hey,
See, that's
my
what
wife.
conservatives think rock and roll should be.
Yeah, totally.
She fucked so good, I stayed married.
Your normal wife. That's my song, "Normal Wife." And we fuck so good that we stay married. Man,
dude, hell yeah.
I hope that one day I get married so I can lose my virginity.
What a weird way the world used to be. Or I don't even know. People always say, "Oh, it used to be," but I'm like, I'm pretty sure not everyone waited till they got. You know what I mean? Like,
totally.
Like that's a weird way to think the world was. Everybody waited till they got married. You sure people weren't lying?
Yeah, people were lying. It is funny that I think what happened, right, was that there were only like a few people that got to decide the information that was released to everybody. And those people were like priests or mayors. And they were like, don't just tell everyone that no one else is having sex. And it'll be so much easier for me.
Yeah.
And they tell kids in school, no one has sex before they get married. And everyone's like, oh, shit. Okay, I guess I better not. But everybody was.
I remember it being very young when they told me, they go, brides wear a red dress, and if they get fucked, they have to wear. It can't wear a white one. No, a white one.
Wait,
did I say
what?
red?
You said red.
Oh yeah.
Wait, what are you talking about?
You know the old
what? I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
You ever heard that brides wear a white dress if they're a virgin?
Oh, and if they're not a virgin, they wear a red dress. They can't wear the white,
but everyone wears the. You know what I mean? I've never once seen a bride wearing a dress that isn't white.
That'd be so crazy if the entire congregation was like, "Oh shit, she's had sex before." Okay, what a weird thing to. Why even have this ceremony? Right. Now it's like not a wedding ceremony; it's a we fuck ceremony.
And the guy doesn't have to change shit. The guy can wear whatever. He just wears the same tuxedo for 10,000 years.
No, dude, no. Not where I grew up. Where I grew up, if the man is not a virgin, he's got to dress like a Ninja Turtle. He's got, and the woman's got to dress like Splinter. If they've had sex before, the man is a Ninja Turtle, and the woman is a big smart rat wearing a bathrobe. And that's how you know that they've had sex.
I remember my mom told me that when she got pregnant, she hated that everyone could just look at her and tell she had had sex.
Wow.
And she's like, and my dad, no one can just when he's walking down the street, no one knows. But I don't even think that way. Like when I see a pregnant woman, I don't think about. I just go, "Oh, kids, that sounds scary."
That's also not true because if anyone knew he was your dad, they know he's had sex. Also, I think it's a good assumption to make that someone who is an adult has had sex. There are edge cases. There's like the occasional late in life virgin still, but it's not really a norm at all. Like most people have had sex, you know.
It seems like it. I remember when it started happening in high school, and I was just like, "Whoa!"
Damn,
And I
totally.
was blown away too because I didn't have sex in high school. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I don't think I could have done it for $1 million. You know,
Right. I had sex in high school. I did. I lost my virginity to my girlfriend in high
that's
school.
crazy.
We had sex, and it was such a production. I had to my friends were in on it in the sense that
What?
I had sex with my friends. I lost my
I lost my virginity in an orgy.
to just my dudes. Which I'll bet you was a bunch of people's fucking losing their virginity story, honestly. But no,
yeah, maybe.
my parents were pretty strict. I had to, whenever my girlfriend was over, I had to have the door open in my bedroom. And one time we were making out sitting on the edge of my bed, and not like viciously or anything. We were just like making out, and I guess I thought my parents were downstairs. And I'll never forget this. This is like a photographic memory. I was kissing my girlfriend at the time. We were 16 and 17, I think. And I just hear behind my girlfriend, I hear that's what I heard. I just heard
no.
And then I looked over and my mom was holding laundries. That's what you call them.
Laundries.
Well, yeah, laundries. A basket of laundry.
Tit.
And then she pitter pattered really quickly down the stairs, just like, pop, 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 pop. And then 30 seconds later, she calls up from downstairs, David, your father wants to talk to you. And my dad is like angry man who at the time particularly wasn't so in touch with his feelings or at all. And he's like folding laundry. And you know how sometimes people they're not doing something aggressive, but they want it to be aggressive, so they do it really fast and angry.
Yeah.
So he was really folding laundry all fast and angry. And I can't even, if you're watching on YouTube, you could see he was like, yeah, and would put the shirt over here, and he's like, man. And he's like, David, don't have sex. You'll get a disease. Now get out of here. That was the whole thing.
Wow.
And so that was freaked out by that. And then my girlfriend at the time, her parents were super strict. They were really Catholic. And so we were really scared about them finding out. We couldn't do it at either of our houses. We didn't want to do it at a friend's place. And we weren't the type of people to be going to parties really. So
right.
At least not ones where people were fucking everywhere. So my buddy James, who lives out here, who I just stayed with in Bloomfield, my best friend from high school. He and my friend Gilbert had a car, and he and James came over to my house. And the plan was they were going to distract my parents while I went up into the attic and I grabbed our tent. And a tent, yeah. And yeah.
This is like a movie.
Yeah, totally. Totally. And John they did. Hughes. It was such a John Hughes movie, dude. Totally. And my dad hated James, but also kind of loved it. He loved to hate James, if that makes sense, because James is a sassy asshole who knows how to talk to people. And every time James is around my dad would be like, so what do you think about the war? Shit like that. What do you think about Bill Clinton? Who would you vote for? Stuff like that. And James would fuck with him. So anyway, they came in and we started talking to my parents about how we're going to see a movie. And then I was like, I got to go do something. And I went up and ran into so we had a family room that was used to be a garage that was separate. And there was an attic that was a pretty high ceiling, a 12 or 13-foot ceiling. And so I had to jump up and pull the attic door down and flop it down and run up there and grab the tent and then run outside and throw it in Gilbert's car and then close the thing and go back in they had to make sure they didn't know I did that. And James was just making sure to say over and over again that we were going to a movie. Like,
There's
yeah,
a new
this movie. We're really excited about
Movie
the
in a theater.
movie we're going to see. And
Oh man, what's the name of that movie? I can't wait to see it.
yeah, man, I really like it. It's
We're
definitely
gonna go see the 7:45 showing of The Matrix.
Yeah, they're showing actually Ben-Hur, movie that dads like and is really long, which would explain.
And we'll be gone for a long time. The duration of the
Long-
movie is so long. We'll be gone for the same
yeah.
amount of time as the movie.
As the movie, yeah,
It'll
as
be
you
a
would
long
guess.
Plus previews.
And we're not going to dilly-dally at the mall either. We're going to come right back after this really long movie. Yeah. There's going to be no horseplay, not today. We're not going to cause a ruckus, you know. We're going to be good boys. And then we went to my girlfriend at the time. We went to pick her up at her parents' house, and her dad loved to fuck with me, and he didn't
Oh.
do this that day, but one time, like, he literally, like, honestly, he's the kind of dad I hope I get to be one day. One time I knocked on the door, and he opened the door in t-shirt, boxers, holding a shotgun, and he was like, come on in. Just to fuck with me. And he was like, one day he opened the door, just sort of like really casually sharpening a knife. He just like really loved to scare me.
Dads love doing that.
Yeah. And,
My girlfriend's dad, one time I was over there and he goes, you want to see my gun? And I was, I don't know, 17. And I was like, hell yeah, I love
Yeah.
guns. And
Dude.
he couldn't find a way to intimidate. I was too dumb to intimidate. I was like, whoa, can I play with it? You have a
Oh
scope?
man.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. You want to put it in my mouth and
Yeah.
see if I like how it tastes?
And
Okay.
then my girlfriend got pissed because I'm like hanging out with her dad in his gun basement for like
That's
an hour, and
funny.
she's like, "Are we not gonna?" And I was like, "You see all these guns?"
I'm sucking your dad's dick. um,
Yeah, you gotta.
Uh,
You can't be dumb.
yeah, so yeah, then we were there. James came in with me. James also had a love-hate relationship with her dad, and he like fucked with us a bunch. We talked about it a bunch, and we kept saying movie. And then James and Gilbert drove it. So we lived in like sort of a rural area. There was no high school in our town, but we had a middle school. It was on the outskirts of town, though. There's like in the middle of town, there's like one strip that's like, I don't know, a third of a mile long with like everything on it. A gas station and like some little shops, and there's like a senior citizen center, and there's a big lot and a park, but there's no grocery store. There's like a CVS and a post office, and it's a very small town. And then you have to drive like 7-8 miles down this road called Lakes Road that has some houses on it, but it's mostly just a forest. And then you get to our middle school. And then on the other side of our middle school is just a big, long, never-ending deep forest. And they like dropped us off on the side of the road holding a tent and left us there and came back 4 hours later. And you know what's funny is that it's crazy and like 10 things I hate about you-ish as this story is. The older I get, far and away my favorite part is that I thought the sex was going to take 4 hours.
You could have still watched Ben-Hur.
Totally.
And fuck.
Truly, like, dropped us off in the woods. We had the world's most awkward sex. We did not know what we were doing.
So you before the foreplay was putting the tent up.
Yeah, totally. Put the tent up, and it was just so, I don't know, like the details of all of that happening in the tent. I just like, I'm not going to say, partially because we were literally children. Don't really think that that's a story.
It's just not very sexy to be like those
No.
tent poles that are like clank, 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 clank.
Yeah, like, no. And oh man, that's funny too. It was a tent with like a fuckload of poles. It was a 4-person tent, but it was just sort of like, yeah, I also didn't have like at the time like an air mattress or anything, or like a rollout, or
Yeah.
I probably brought a sleeping bag. I think we brought sleeping bags
Oh,
to
it's
like
horrible.
lay on the ground. But yeah, there were like
Oh.
rocks and shit. At one point, there's like a door on either side of the tent, you know. So at one point, I
Dude.
opened. We had put the like rain cover on too, so we could like take our shoes off and they would be outside the tent, but underneath the rain cover, which was staked down. And at one point I like went to step outside and my shoes weren't there. And I like freaked out. I thought someone had like come and stolen my shoes. And then actually they were just on the other side of the tent.
Oh man.
But that's how panicky and anxious I was that I was like doing something weird or wrong.
Yeah, the devil came. And
The fucking
my
devil
shoes.
found me. Yeah. And then so they like at the right time they picked me up. And then the first thing we did was we went and we dropped her off. And what was funny was her dad commented, two things happened that were so fucking crazy when we went to her house. Her dad was like, damn, why do you and Jen have such muddy shoes? And they don't at all. And I was like, no reason. I was just like,
No reason.
And and I think James
That
was like,
movie
they were
was
jumping in puddles. They were jumping in puddles after the long movie.
The long movie.
And her dad was like, where did you find muddy puddles? What is this? What are you talking about? And then at some point, James was like joking around and like giving him a bunch of shit. And it was definitely James like really had my back in a bunch of ways in high school. He like he was joking, he was like fucking with him. And I think it was because of how, if I remember correctly, how anxious I was getting and how weird and panicky. And I was just like sweating and like worried about the mud on my shoes. James started just like really, really going at her dad, making fun of him. And he like, the dad jokingly took his belt off like he was going to hit James. And
wow.
Yeah, I mean, he was kidding. He was definitely kidding. He was not
Yeah.
like a guy who whips people with his belt, but he like cracked the belt like a whip as a joke, but then ended up hitting James in the balls with it. And it like
Whoa.
totally saved me because he was like, Jesus fucking Christ. And I was like, oh my God. And the dad was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I was like, we should go. Oh my God. See ya. Sorry. And I just sort of like picked
Man,
him up
This
and we
is how is this not a movie? You gotta write the Dave
know.
high school movie.
that's a good point.
This
and
all
when-
is great.
It was funny too, like, you know, dudes, especially high school dudes who are young and have never had sex are like so fucking horny for it
Oh, it's,
in general. And
Unbelievable.
like, I was like probably the least horny of my friends, quite honestly. And
That's hard to verify.
well, I don't know. I mean, I would like, I've talked about it on the show. I didn't start masturbating until I was 15. I was like not as now I'm hornier than everybody, but
Isn't that weird?
yeah. But anyway, so we hold James up and we like walk out to the car. We get to the car, the doors close, we drive off, and this is all with straight faces. And then right when we get away from her house, immediately Gilbert slams on the brakes and they were like, what happened? What was it like? What was it like? Just these other two dudes like, come on, tell us. Sex, you had sex. And I was like, yeah, man, I don't know, it was really cool. And after that, I still had some bullies. I was like a small kid. I was a theater kid. I was a band kid. I was afraid. I thought everybody hated me. I had like the big tough guys thought I was a little weakling, a little wimp, you know?
Yeah.
So I had a few dudes who would come after me. And one time one of them like smashed into me in the hallway, or I bumped into him or something, but we like collided in the hallway, and the guy like looked around and was like, yo, Dave, what the fuck, man? Get the fuck off me, or some really aggressive shit like that. And James, out of nowhere, I didn't even know he was there, just like jumped out from behind me and said, yo, back off, man. Dave had sex. It was awesome. It was so awesome.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What a comeback.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Dude, you gotta just go back and listen to this episode, right? This is great.
Yeah.
This would be I miss comedies like this. And the fact that it's true is even, oh my God.
Yeah, I'll make a movie and I'll
make a
sell
movie,
it. And
Dave.
the movie is going to be called Children Having Sex.
Dave had sex.
Dave Had Sex is actually a really great name for it.
I know. I love it. That
Yeah.
seems like a fun movie.
Yeah.
Who would play you? Who would play Dave?
Who would play me? Elliot Gould. Brian Dennehy.
He's playing a high school student. I think he's a little older. This is even worse than Grease.
Who would play me? I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
Well,
if we're going on looks
I
alone,
don't know
probably
a
Justin
young actor other
Bieber,
than Timothy Chalamet.
Timothy Chalamet. Yeah, I mean, he's not as hot as me though. You
That's
know,
right.
that's right, dude.
What did the bully say when he found out you had sex? Was he like, oh my god, I didn't know.
Oh,
Sorry."
actually, I don't remember, but I think he was like, "What the really? No." I'm like, "What the?
Woohoo!
With
Oh
who?
shit!
His
I bet he really
mom?
hurt his feelings.
With your mom?"
Do you think in school young girls in high school are talking about fucking each other's dads?
Yes, yes, I
They
do.
are.
I think what they say to each other is grosser than what we ever say.
I would love to know because the having sex with your that was the number one in like second grade. 7-year-olds are like, I fucked your mom. I'm 7 and I fucked your mom.
That's right.
It's like, wow.
I just got my first ever boner, and I used it to fuck someone in your family. I'm a part of your family now because of my first erection.
But I'm just like, I would love to know what the girls are saying in school.
Yeah.
That's so funny to me.
Oh, I think it's. I mean, I don't know, but I think it's gross. I'm gonna guess.
Wow.
I think it's just not as aggressive.
Call in if you used
Yeah,
to hurl
totally.
insults about fucking your friends.
You can call 1-800-SEX-DADS and let us know if you're fucking your dad out here. Actually, don't call that number.
I just can't imagine because, like, at least the town I grew up in, it's not like there were good-looking dads. You know, it's a
Oh,
horrible
yeah.
insult. Like, I fucked your dad. It's like, oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, they're also mean. They're all mean and horrible looking.
Right.
And so mad. And all the moms were hot and so kind and would give you juice and stuff. And like, of course, you
Yeah.
wanted to sleep with them. They're like
People
the
would
most
say you're-
perfect people on earth. We did have one teacher, a female teacher, who it came out hooked up with a student.
Oh boy, it always happens.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's really insane how common it is.
It was also exactly like if you were going to guess who it would be.
Right.
It was really funny. It was the teacher who was like pretty young, and the guy who like failed senior year once and looked really old. It was just like
Yeah.
I think he might have even been 19 and she was like 23. Like, I don't know if I really care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
guess
Like,
it's
it's still
the-
weird. You shouldn't do it
for the
but
HR department.
You shouldn't
It
have
is
sex with
weird.
your students, obviously. But
Yeah.
19 and 23 is very different than what you would think normally. I don't know. I guess I shouldn't say I think it's all right, but it's not as bad as the other what you imagine, right?
Yeah.
Right?
I
don't
mean,
know.
he
My
probably got his friends to go help him get a tent out of his attic.
Yeah, totally. But like a bigger tent because he was grown up. Yeah.
Yeah, I got
So-
a 2-bedroom tent.
I had my friends tell my roommates that I was going to see a movie that was 6 days long. And then I built a 2-bedroom house in the woods for us to have sex in.
Oh man, that's so
Yeah.
funny. It's so funny because like when I was in high school, me and my friends, all our goals were to get Mountain Dew and watch movies. That was all we wanted to do. We would hang out all weekend long, watch like 35 movies, and then rank them. And my parents were like, I bet they're getting their dick sucked and smoking weed. And it was like, we didn't know how to do any of that. None of us knew how to do that.
One time, my father full blown like donkey kicked my bedroom door open when it was locked. Probably the most scared I've ever been in my entire life was this moment. Full on, just like wound up, put his back into it, full frontal kicked the door, broke the lock open. And I guess he thought I was smoking weed in there, but I was just on the phone. It was crazy. It was so crazy.
And then was he like,
He's
oh,
like, ah, and he just sort of like Hulk walked away to just sort of like, I don't know, be mean to my mom or whatever the fuck.
just on
Crazy.
the phone.
It's
It's crazy to think about like how long I would be on the phone in high school, like for 6 hours, a 6-hour long
I
phone
know.
call. And it's like, could there be anything less interesting than two high school students talking for 6 hours?
Yeah.
What the fuck were we talking? We didn't know anything.
Yeah. Total. What did we talk about? That's true. I talked on the phone a lot.
No clue. There couldn't be anything good.
I think we just quoted The Simpsons and just like kept
Yeah.
saying Simpsons quotes. Man, I had a friend in high school who was so fun. There were so many funny people where I went to high school, and half of them were funny because they had no hope. And
That's pretty funny.
yeah, I mean, it's certainly not funny for them, but it causes a funny person to happen.
Yeah.
If you're young and you're just like, I'm not saying I'm not saying they shouldn't have had hope, but I came from like a super poor place and it was like really negative and there was like a lot of alcoholism and drug abuse because it was like sort of a party town. And then the party went away because some like drinking laws changed and a lot of bars closed, but people had moved there to party for life. That's where where I grew up. And that's the type of place I grew up in. Like if Lake Havasu closed and then all those people still live there, I went to high school with their kids.
Oh, damn.
And so there was a lot of lack of hope. There was a lot of like not trying because it just sort of like felt like they didn't have a shot. And, you know, when you're 17 and you don't think you have a chance, it's sad. It's like the biggest problem in this country, but it causes you to do hilarious things. like literally someone called. This happened one day in school. Two people got together to make this happen. Someone from the payphone in the front of our school called the principal's office and said that there was like an emergency for the biology teacher, and that there was like that guy they called to his classroom during class, and he went running out the door to the principal's office. And then this guy opened a window in the back of the room, stuck his ass out of it, and took a shit out the window onto that guy's car. And now is that horrible? Yes. Is it really fucking funny? Yeah. I wasn't in that class. And like those, you know, the guys that did that were also like, they were not dudes I got along with, but you know, that's like a particular level of not give a fuck that you don't really come across that often. It's just so like, it's so funny, dude. It's like, just imagine how when I didn't cut school in high school. I was like afraid of getting in trouble, but to be like,
I don't know how it looked, but whatever I'm picturing in my head is like,
oh, dude, no. I mean, it's exactly what you think. And the guy was just this like older senior who's like a fucking Italian New Yorker dude who's like, this is gonna be awesome. This is gonna be awesome. This is gonna be fucking awesome. I'm gonna shit on the guy's car. I fucking hate this guy.
But just to have it ready and
Dude,
to have the thought
to plan it. It was premeditated. There were two of them in on it. They were like, that's what they were talking about on the phone. That's what
6 hours.
A 6-hour phone call when they were done quoting Seinfeld. They were like, what should we do tomorrow? I haven't done homework in years.
He had to plan it out. He had to plan his shit to be ready. He needed a good bit of shit. You can't squeeze out like a little rabbit turd.
I will say this. I was in a group of guys that were like also really funny, and I was the least funny of them at the time. I actually credit them a lot to how funny I am now, because we would just sit around and like crack jokes, and they were so good at it, and I certainly wasn't yet. I was the one. They would all be making fun of each other, and then I would say something, and it would be crickets.
Right.
And everyone would stare at me, and they would all be like, "Shut up, Dave! You fucking suck!" And I'll be like, "Oh no!" I I had to like learn to get funny, so I would stop getting dunked on. But there were some dudes in that group that were so funny, and one of them was my friend Kevin, and he just like he started making this cartoon called The Colon Cowboy that was about he just like picked our American history teacher and started calling him the Colon Cowboy.
That's a good
And it
name.
was just like stories of him like fucking famous people, and he would just like draw it and put it up, and people would be like, "Who's making these?" And we would be like, "We don't know." I
Oh, that's great.
yeah,
The Colon
the
Cowboy.
Colon Cowboy.
That'll be
yeah.
a part of the movie too. It would be like you're trying to be funny and you're not confident enough
Failing,
yet. You can't.
yeah.
You're like it's like 8 Mile. You try out your jokes and it's not working. And then after you have sex,
Yeah, now I know how to be funny.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
do you ever watching a movie where you're like, it's like you're like a third of the way in, and you're like, oh man, hell yeah, and then you forget like, oh, it can't go well yet because it's a third of the way in. Like,
Oh yeah.
you know that there's a rap battle with Eminem and it's 30 minutes in. You're like, he's got to lose because then why the fuck else am I going to watch another hour?
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes I get annoyed. I'm like, I just want it to go good already. Jeez.
Yeah. Can it
You
be
know?
a 30-minute movie where everything's fine?
Yeah. It's like, I know, like, just let Tom Cruise win. Like, I know he's good at flying these planes. Stop fucking around. We all know it.
Yeah, totally. We all know Ethan Hunt is gonna get the vial. So just cut to him having the vial, and we don't
Right.
need to see all these backflips.
Don't you hate a movie with a complicated plot where it's like the agent from Russia has reappeared and he has the thing that they got to get, and the Secretary of State needs it for the thing? And I'm just like, I like when the movie is No Country for Old Men. He's got a bag of money. Oh shit, that's a plot I can follow. You know, Dave needs to have sex. That's a
That's a
plot
good point.
for me.
Yeah, Harold and Kumar have sex.
Yes.
That kind of thing. Yeah.
That would be a huge if that was the
Yeah.
next one. Harold and Kumar have sex.
No, this is a really good point, dude. It's also cool to like, man, we have been recording for about a half hour and we've been talking about my childhood, my high school years almost the entire time. How crazy is that? That's
Hey,
interesting.
high school's crazy. You remember so much of it. You know?
Yeah, and I haven't thought about it or talked about it in a long time.
Yeah.
And you know what's cool? You know what actually I could have benefited from? Like, so everything I just said, like, those are cool stories. I like
Yeah.
that story. You're right. That story of me losing
That's
my
great.
virginity is crazy and cool.
And it seems normal to you because it's the only time you lost your virginity.
Right. And you know, the story about my friend Kevin making a Colon Cowboy cartoon. That's
Yeah.
like, but what's funny is at the time I felt like a loser. And it was because I wasn't like, you know, like I said, I wasn't really going to parties. I was like noticeably not like one of the popular cool kids who was like dating a ton of people. And like, it was like, I don't know, hot and cool. I just had my friends and we did our thing. And I do think it's cool to like, I could have benefited as a kid from hearing stories about people that weren't the like hottest, most popular kids also having fun. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It was
'Cause it is
also
fun.
important for me to say that just now because I need you to know that I wasn't cool because that's
Right.
that is the rusty cage that is the identity I've built in my
Well, if anyone's listening, I know we have some young listeners. Being cool in high school is like Confederate money. It does not matter. It does not transfer. It is so temporary, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. So just have fun. If you
Yeah.
have one friend in high school, you're crushing it. If you have no friends, who gives a shit? 'Cause
Totally.
it doesn't matter. Life is so much longer,
I love
and
this.
it's so
Yeah.
much more fun, you know?
I also really if you have one friend, you're crushing it is so accurate. And if you
Yeah.
don't have friends, you will soon.
Yeah,
And that's
it
so
doesn't
true, 'cause
matter.
At the time, you know what's so funny, dude? I had like a crew of friends by the time I was a senior, and we did everything together. And we certainly had drama and complications, but it was just a bunch of guys who hung out. And yeah, no one was getting laid really. I had a girlfriend. We had sex one time.
Cool.
we
One
made a plan to have sex a second time, and then we both got too worried.
Yeah,
we were gonna-
you get a free one. One's free.
Yeah, totally. And And at the time, I really was like, the whole time I was like, well, I'm not one of these guys that's going to parties and everyone is like trying to hang out with them and get drunk with them. And I just have like these dudes, and even they don't like me, and I don't do cool shit like the rest of the guys. And looking back, it was like, man, I had a bunch of friends and I had a bunch
Yeah.
of fun. I just didn't do it on the stage. That there's something about high school that convinces you if you're not like the most popular kid, you're doing something lame. But
Right. Like if you're
it's
not
not it.
going to American Pie parties and you're not
Exactly.
the quarterback or the prom queen, that you're like, but that's
And
not
if you're
even
not
like,
cutting school, or you're not
Right.
like sticking it to the man,
it's just
if you
people
like,
think it's going to be like,
you're a
you know,
loser if you get good
Yeah.
grades, and it's just like not the case, you know?
no, it's
Yeah.
and even you know, if you talk to the prom king or the quarterback, like the cool guy quarterback at our school was like stressed. He was doing homework a lot. He had to work out
Right.
all the time. Like it wasn't actually this glamorous thing. It's just so funny. Like life is fine. And even
Totally.
like just think of it like a low security jail sentence. Even if you don't have any friends in
Right.
high school, like whatever, 4 years is going to be done. Adulthood is so much better. It is so much better.
I will say, if I were to point, like at this point, pick out a regret from school, or the one big one would be like, I would like to tell myself from back then that what I've got is great.
Yeah.
But then the other thing, and this is fine. It's fine that I didn't have this, but it would have been a lot of fun to know it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Because like I was saying about those dudes with no hope, like they were the fucking funniest people I've ever, like, taking a shit on your biology
Dude,
teacher's
it's the
car.
funniest thing I've ever heard.
There was this one guy, I have no idea what's up with him now, but he just like I would never talk back to any teacher. I wouldn't curse to a teacher. I wouldn't. But this guy, man, we were having like sex ed in another biology class, different teacher, this woman who was funny. And you know, the high school dudes want to be the shit. And so she's telling us all, like, we're talking about puberty, and we're like moving through like what puberty means and starting to become a sexual person. And she talked about wet dreams, and she like described what a wet dream was. And she was like, and a wet dream is the moment basically where a boy becomes a man. It's his first ejaculation. That's sort of what she said. This kid's hand fucking shoots up.
Oh,
We're
boy.
in 10th grade, by the way. His hand shoots up. He's like, I haven't had a wet dream yet. So, and she goes, well, to her credit, she goes, well, I guess you're just a little boy then, aren't you? And this dude yells out at her to this entire class. He goes, with this hog? No way. I'm like cry laughing in the fucking class, dude.
Dude, you got the whole movie.
Oh, yeah.
Watch this shit, dude.
I've wanted for a long time to make a TV show about where I grew up. That
Yeah.
hopelessness really, and matter of fact, so where I grew up is where they're building Legoland in Goshen,
man.
New York, like right by there. And it is really, there's an article, I think, in the New York Times. It's about how all the people are like, they all hate Legoland. They're all just these like New York hillbillies that are like, get your Legos out of my diner or whatever. They're fucking,
Yeah.
I'm trying to jerk off or whatever.
That's the funniest thing to yell.
I don't need
Hey, get
Yeah.
the fuck.
Get out of my horse track. I'm trying to jerk off.
Like they're rude. They're being rude.
Yeah.
Can't you see? Why? You never seen a man jerking off at the horse track before?
Quiet down. I'm trying to jerk off.
I always hated that when people said, "Oh, you never see." No, I
No.
have never seen this, and it's normal that I haven't.
Totally.
You should.
You never
stop
seen a grown
jerking
man
off.
eating a grilled cheese in the bathroom?
No.
No.
Why would I have seen that? Why are you doing it?
You know what I have seen is a grown man very, very happy that he's drinking an El Segundo beer.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, the best beer in the world.
It's the best beer in the world. Also, welcome to What's It Called,
Welcome to What's
everybody.
It Called, everybody. Get ready to lay down.
What's up, hornies? Lay her down.
Yeah, we're the
Get
potato
on
boys.
down and lay. Put some potatoes in your mouth and go to sleep.
I do that so many nights.
Oh my god, that is most of my life. If I am the happiest when I had French fries and I am not awake anymore.
Oh, dude, that sounds
Dude,
great. As soon as
sleep
we're
and
done,
French
as soon as
fries?
we're done, that's what I'm doing.
Better than sex.
You know what I did with my El Segundo beer, the best brewery in the California and the world.
Mm-hmm.
I've been putting my pint glass in the freezer
Okay.
all day,
All right.
and then I'll put a koozie around the pint glass, pour an El Segundo beer into it,
Damn.
and it makes it like a couple degrees colder. It's like, dude, you got to start doing. It's a game changer. Makes
It's
it
interesting.
10 times better.
I wouldn't have thought of it doing that because El Segundo beer just naturally is 1 degree colder than all other beers,
At all times. Yeah.
which is a true thing. So putting it in a cold glass to make it even colder, that's incredible. Yeah.
It is incredible. There's so many fun things you can do with El Segundo beer. You don't have to do mine, but you just need to buy it and let the spirit take you, you know?
Totally.
Whatever
Just
you
buy
feel
it,
like doing with it.
get a 4-pack or a 6-pack, you know, of Montegundo or Mayberry, or switch it up. Get a couple Citra, get a couple Mayberry, leave them in
Hell
the
yeah.
fridge for a day and see what strikes you. And I guarantee you're going to have an idea. It's going to be a nice idea too. It's not going to be aggressive or negative anyway. My guess is that you'll decide to have a beer and then tell someone that you love them a great deal.
That's what I do every time.
Yeah, totally. Not a lot of people don't know this, but El Segundo Brewing was actually a big part of the making of the movie It's a Wonderful Life. And it was cut later because they didn't want to be associated with a bunch of suicide, which
That's
makes
true.
sense. But
Let me tell you this. Here's a new slogan for El Segundo, I think, is the second one tastes even better.
wow.
So if you're ever drinking an El Segundo, have another one. That's what I say.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And then stop.
And then stop.
Yeah.
Because
have 2 a day each day.
Have 2 a day for the rest of your life. That's
Sounds
El
good.
Segundo wanted us to say this. Drink 2 beers every day of your entire life.
At whatever time you think, you know.
Yeah. Make sure you have 2 beers by 9 a.m. every day. El Segundo. And no,
Yeah,
they do
dude.
not want us to say that. Drink
No, they don't.
responsibly. Don't drive drunk. You know that we feel that way. Don't make us scared.
Yeah.
Truly, though, welcome to What's It Called? This is our fucking favorite part of every week.
Hell yeah. It's so fun. We love you.
You're a bunch of hornies. You're a bunch of Richard Carnes.
All day.
We're horny and we're also Richard Karn. I mean, just look at our faces.
Look at me.
Yeah, look at him. We have an Instagram, we have a Twitter, we have a Discord, we
right.
have all this shit. Our website is whatsitcalled.rodeo, and there's a link to our web store on there. Sign up for our Patreon. You get bonus episodes. You get to introduce episodes. We got all sorts of
That's
shit
right.
going on. We Twitch stream every now and then. We're out here having a lot of fun. We rename shit. If you want to jump in and suggest names, we read our top 10 favorites from the Twitter suggestions every week. We are at What's It Pod on Twitter. And this week, we are renaming the Blue Collar Comedy Tour, which reminds me, before we get to renaming it, we should probably talk about the Caleb Sinan Comedy Tour, of which there are many dates.
I can't
as I
stop.
understand it.
I'm all over the world. I got the Hitching Post in Bisbee, Arizona on November 26th. That'll be this Saturday. So come out to that if you're in Arizona or New Mexico. Make it a long drive. I'm driving a long way.
Hey, fly
and
there
come see
from
me at Cheaper
Canada.
Than Therapy, November 30th through December 4th in San Francisco. And come see me at the Laughing Skull in Atlanta on December 15th through the 18th. It's going to be a lot of fun. And next year, just got this on the books. I'll be at the Comedy Fort February 2nd through the 4th in Fort Collins, Colorado. Come out and see me
Damn.
there.
That
Hell
fucking rules. Those are all great. I have a few coming up. Nothing crazy for me, but I was just at the Come and Take It Comedy Festival in Houston, Texas, though we're recording it before I went to that. So I don't know how it went yet. I can imagine, though, that it went incredibly.
Hell yeah.
This coming weekend, the 26th of November, I am doing the Grawlix at the Bug Theater. Maybe my favorite show fucking ever of all
Hell yeah.
time. Yeah. So come to that if you're in Denver or nearby. I'm doing some shows with Derek Brown, who's a great poet and a great comic and a good friend of mine, in New York and around New York in mid-December. We've got some stuff in New York City. We're doing some stuff at Union Hall and at Easy Lover. We're going down to Philly, though, on the 14th to do Shane O'Connor's show at Fergie's Pub. It's free. It's the 14th of December at Fergie's Pub
Hell yeah.
in Philadelphia. And then 7:30 p.m. Sorry. I just got a little messed up. 7:30 p.m. the next day, Thursday, December 15th. Derek and Chris Gethard and I are doing a show at Silverstream Studios in Montclair, New Jersey. And here's the thing. That show is already sold out.
Oh, shit.
So I'm going to talk to Chris and hopefully we can add a later date because I know that we have fans in Jersey and I would love it if y'all could make it. And so,
hell yeah.
And then, of course, we are going to be in Houston again at the Riot Comedy Festival.
That's
March
right.
23rd through the 26th. Caleb and myself will be there, and we'll be doing the first ever live episode of What's It Called? So put that in your calendar.
Yeah, make a trip out. Fly to Houston.
Yeah. Hey, we love to fly, and we love y'all.
Hell yeah, we do.
Damn, dude, you want to do our fucking names or what?
Hell yeah, dude. Blue Collar Comedy Tour. I really
exciting.
like the Blue Collar Comedy Tour.
Yeah, I like
not
it,
all
kind
of it.
Yeah,
But I
same.
won't say who's who, but I think we all know.
I don't hate any of it, I will say.
Right.
I used to when I was younger. I used to hate some of it. And I think the older I got, I've softened up on. I used to think that like people who like talked about their wife, it was like bad for America because that shit. I don't know. Now I feel a little softer on it. It feels like that's just for them and doesn't have to be for me.
It is what it's what people it's how it goes. I think a new name for the Blue Collar Comedy Tour should be Four Funny Sluts.
Okay. I like that. That's yeah. I like changing the perspective of it. That's great. Just call it. Why don't we change the name to Chunky Monkeys?
Chunky Monkeys.
That wasn't on my list, but that's funny. This is my first name for the Blue Collar Comedy Tour. Hootenanny Dan and the Whiskey Chugging Jerk Off Dads. I had a good time.
I hate my wife.
Yep, that's accurate. Knee slapping yodel time with your host, Mr. Boring.
I got give me a warm Budweiser.
Squirt guns at dawn.
Bill Engvall must drive.
I don't get it.
Like he's got a car.
Oh.
Like it
you're
doesn't seem
saying
like
he's the one that
he's the one driving.
I see. Because he's the one that's bringing the least to the table. Absolutely. Yes. He's also the one where his catchphrase is like, wait, what is it? Your catchphrase is
I'll never understand the backflips you have to do.
As much as Larry the Cable Guy is absolutely like hacky fucking garbage, we all know what's happening. Get her done. We totally get it. And Jeff Foxworthy, you might be a redneck, is like maybe the most famous one.
Right.
And Ron White doesn't even pretend to have one. He just has a joke where he says, they call me tater salad.
Right. It's a like 10-minute long story. That is true.
That's true.
But it is funny. Like it makes me think that he woke up on the day the tour started. And they're like, you got your catchphrase ready, right? And he's like, how about don't you wish you could give dumb people a sign that says I'm dumb?
You're like,
and
what?
Yeah,
here's your sign.
I'll say something that happened, and then I'll say here's your. It's insane. I still can't believe it.
He's also like not. It doesn't matter that he's Southern. Does that make sense?
No, I know. Yeah.
Like Jeff Foxworthy has a lot of Southern culture wrapped into his act, even though he's like a suburban dad. And Larry the Cable Guy is a caricature of a person who doesn't exist, right? And Ron White is like an actual Southerner. He's just like a real guy from the South. And Bill Engvall's just a father. That's all he is. He's just like, his jokes are like, you ever be mowing the lawn and you get a stick caught in there? And he's like, how am I going to get the stick out? And it's like, you could be doing this in my accent and it would be the same fucking. Yeah. You ever be mowing the lawn and there's a stick caught in there? And then you're like, how am I going to get the stick out? It's just like the worst bullshit of all time. You ever put your head on and you realize that your head shrank? You used to have a fatter head. And you got to take it down a peg. You got to pop it out, put the pegs back in the back. Now you got a smaller hat. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, all of his jokes are sponsorships for fucking Home Depot.
Yeah,
you ever hammering it? You're ever getting a nail remover and it gets all rusted up, get all that gunk on there, and you go, oh, I could get this done a lot quicker if I had a little Gojo.
Wow, that's so true. You ever find a Frito in your Dorito and you realize, well, this is a bonus. I like anything from the Yum Corporation.
Sometimes I'll find an onion ring in my fries, but I never find a fry in my onion ring. Well, how come? It's always like,
what?
I saw there's too many Starbucks.
They should call Waffle House Waffle Castle. Because I feel like a fucking king in there. Man.
Dude.
Man.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I got.
Oh, yeah, we got more names.
Hey,
Yeah.
we got so excited
to shit on Bill Engvall.
All right, my next one is we do not like Democrats.
Yeah, certainly not. Though one of them, I feel like Ron White is for sure a Democrat.
There's no way to know.
Yeah. Tobacco chewed up. Yeah, I felt good about that one.
That's good.
Yeah.
I got the female orgasm is a myth.
Jeff Comedy Jam.
The dictators of comedy.
Toby Keith's I love these dumbasses.
Shut the fuck up, woman.
I love this one. The original Kings of the Hill.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's the Ricky shit right there.
Thanks, pal.
I got church for naughty little boys.
Whose sign is it anyway?
All right, my last one is you're just like your fucking mom.
Okay, I got two more. The Bass Pro Shops of Comedy.
Hell yeah, dude.
And Shitter Dump.
Shitter Dump.
Shitter Dump.
Shitter Dump.
His accent is so wild. It's so wild that it's like believable to people he's from the South. Because he's so gay.
Wouldn't it be funny? You know how Colbert did the character for like 10 years and then he's just himself? And everybody was like, I didn't know he was.
Wait, what?
Can you imagine if Larry the Cable Guy got a show as Dan Whitney?
Be awesome.
And then he was just like,
hello,
I hate Republicans. And everybody's like, what?
Be awesome.
Just his regular voice.
That'd be so awesome, dude. That's never going to happen.
We got
you ever find it? You ever find a tractor? You ever find a tractor in your knickers? Shut up, dude. No one says knickers. No one says britches. Why do you say these things? He says britches so much, dude. Wow, I know a lot about that guy. I'm realizing.
Yeah, it's you remember it all. I mean, it's
yeah.
It takes you aback when you're watching it. You're like, whoa,
wow, this is a real guy doing a real thing. Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing. We pick a top 10 of the suggestions on Twitter at what?
Yeah, tweet at us
every week. And look, we say this every week. We just pick the top 10 because there are just so many at this point. Yeah. If you don't get in this week, you'll get in another week. This week in particular, there were so many fucking great ones.
Oh, yeah,
so,
it was a tough week.
If you have your own favorites, go in and retweet them and chime in and say, I think they were wrong about the Ricky shit and all this. Jump in our Discord. There's a renaming section and claim your winner if you like. But these were our favorite 10. This one was so clever. At Turducken MRE said, "The kids in the y'all."
Kids in the y'all.
Oh, fucking good, dude.
Canadian blue collar comedy tour, dude.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I forgot to say, we add another variable online, and this week it was, what if the blue collar comedy tour was Canadian?
And I think
So-
these suggestions are so good, it's gonna happen. They're gonna round up 4 Canadian
God.
rednecks, and it's gonna be a tour.
I feel like it is a thing, and we just don't know.
There's a
about it.
Canadian version of everything, dude.
Yeah.
It's bananas.
Totally fucking Hitler.
We have a Canadian version of all our shows.
Um,
Canadian Hitler.
Yeah. Just says sorry to Jews.
There's a Canadian kiss, and it's where you don't.
Yeah, it's called
That's
hug.
when you the guy you see it in movies when a guy leans in and the woman goes, oh no, and then he goes,
Oh, I'm so sorry.
oh, that's a Canadian kiss.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
I thought no. All right, the next one is at Demuris. Sticky dicks, tickle fits.
Fuck yeah.
So in
dude.
that this universe, their dicks have been stuck into everyone's favorite
maple syrup, right?
and then
Sticky
everyone
dicks.
laughs.
Tickle
really hard.
fits. Oh, I
Yeah.
see. Yes. At Bushel of Awesome said, "Here's your sign. Sorry." Fuck yeah, dude.
Just great.
Good stuff.
At Bobby Benedict, Ice Road fuckers.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, dude.
I love
This
Ice
one,
Road fuckers.
I don't even really. It's funny. It's like I don't really know how directly. Anyway, it just really made me belly laugh. At Apoc Pod, Sacre Bleu comedy tour.
It's great. There's so much France in Canada, and it just makes me laugh.
Yeah, but I don't think any of them say Sacre Bleu. It's just so direct. It's just so silly.
That would be a great
love it.
catchphrase for a redneck. Well,
Sacre
Sacre Bleu.
Sacre Bleu.
And I like Mike Perry had a good one. Hank Hockey Puck and the slapsticks.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Just
This is
great.
similarly so stupid, and I love it. At Max J. Kerr said, Monsieur Larry the Cable Guy.
Monsieur Larry the Cable Guy.
It's like not even trying to make it feels like Larry the Cable Guy puts on a mustache and just like walks over the border and he's like, yes, and I'm from here. I am.
At Bogdu, you might be a hoser. Now, this is I
Fuck
didn't even
yeah.
know until our good buddy Adam Christie let me in on all the Canadian
Hoser?
slang.
Oh yeah,
That's a
dude.
very common insult up there.
Hoser is a good one.
A fucking hoser.
All right. The Silver Ricky shit. The second to last at Chagadelic said NAFTA, more like LAFTA.
Which I can't believe that's
Oof.
not a show. How is
My
that not
God.
already? It's so funny, and it's so funny in an unfunny, clever, but interesting way. It's just great. Like
It's
I was saying
fucking
earlier, it
awesome.
sounds like a joke Bill Maher would make, thinking it was. It's just great.
Thank
NAFTA.
you very much. All right. You want to do the last one, buddy?
Our gold Ricky shit goes to at Laundry Pants. Let's say it at the same time. It's they call me maple syrup.
They call me maple syrup. It's so silly, dude.
I love it.
Dude, I love the Ron White just saying the exact same bit, and then at the end they call me maple syrup.
Just because they tested it. They did focus group.
He's
I
like,
don't
all
know,
right,
like
I'll
to
do
yourself.
it.
All right.
We are at What's It Pod on Twitter. We are what the hell is it called at gmail.com. If you want to write us and suggest things for us to rename, or if you have something in your life you'd like for us to rename, a couple
We'll do
times
it.
a year we rename a bunch of yo shit. So yeah,
We love you.
message us. We love to hear from you. And be good to yourself.
Lay it on down.
If you're in high school, it'll be over soon, man. It's all right.
Don't worry. It's
It
all good.
blows.
All
But-
things must pass.
Remember the fun parts. There are fun parts, even if you really don't think so. I swear to God.
You get to watch somebody shit on a car. That's fun. Even on a bad day, that's fun.
Unfucking believable.
I'll never forget that.
Caleb, I love you, buddy.
Love you, Dave.
I'll see you. Well, in a minute, we're gonna do
Yeah,
a
in a minute.
Patreon episode. So, bye, everybody.
Hell yeah.
What's it called? What's it called? What's it